Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new BBC Micro Let's Play. Let me see if I can find what I want to play today, and here it is. Mazemunch by Simon Phipps. Copyright the 1984, the Micro User. At the beginning of the year 1984, a mad 17-year-old computer genius, produced nightmarish mutant creatures by disassembling the darkest recesses of his 1.2 MOS. These creatures, obsessed with the task of chasing anything that moved, soon took over his BBC Micro and placed nasty bugs in exactly the wrong parts of the program. Press a key. The creatures, designated under the codename of Googies, ran riot, and after a year of feverish work on school micros and programmable calculators, this whiz kid created a solution to the problem: the Munchers. Operating under manual control, the Munchers were sent out to clear the bug-ridden logic mazes of bits. Small binary digits that would cause a terrifying bad program error if ever introduced in the wrong addresses. To the assistance of our fearless pink heroes came the Nibbles, powerful bits that when eaten set the Googies into fits of terror and while active allowed the Munchers to devour these unsavory creatures and temporarily stop their evil doings. Soon, rogue graphics characters in the form of strawberries, birds, cherries, keys, bells, and plums helped nourish the Munchers. But after a tough fight, the graphics left, and now my MOS is completely free of any problems. I'm guessing you're that 17-year-old whiz kid, huh, narrator? In case you didn't recognize it from the foregoing, the game is quite simply a version of a classic arcade game, which was published in, I believe, Volume 2, Issue 1 of the Micro User, which was a Micros magazine from the UK. I believe it is the March 1984 issue. I will correct myself in editing at this point if I find out I am wrong. For those of you who have never played it before, here's a short summary. The object is to move the pink muncher around the screen, eating the dots and bonus fruits. To make things more difficult, you are pursued by two evil monsters who kill on contact. If one of the flashing nibbles is eaten, there are four, one at each corner of the screen. Then, for a limited time after, the muncher may chase the offending Googies around the screen, and extra points are gained for eating them while they are flashing. You're going to find that they're not really flashing. Completion of a whole screen gives a new screen with faster Googies and more chances for the muncher to get indigestion. To summarize, it's Pac-Man. The muncher is Pac-Man, the Googies are the ghosts, and the nibbles are the power pills. Expect me to use these terms interchangeably. Use keys A and Z for up and down respectively, and the left arrow and right arrow for left and right respectively. The game does not tell you this, so I'm going to tell you right now. Turn caps lock off. Special thanks to WhatHo Snorkers for telling me this via Twitter. And as soon as we press a key to initialize the game, we go straight to the game. We don't even get a menu. We just go right in. And you have just these two ghosts, these two Googies, the red one and the green one. And you have the power pills, aka the nibbles, that flash pink and green. Or purple and green, I suppose. And guess what? These things aren't exactly flashing. And the place where the Googies are supposed to go, or the ghosts in the Pac-Man would usually go when captured, or eaten, as a matter of fact, that's where your lives count is going to be. Keep that in mind. So moving around, kind of tricky. If you remember my Let's Play of Snail Trail, this is a thing that is happening. That me moving back and forth like that is going to be a regular occurrence. Because once again, you don't go in one direction just by pressing a key in that direction. Instead, you have to hold the button down for the direction you wish to go. Kind of like in Snail Trail, and it works exactly like it does in that game. And for some reason, when you complete the first board, you're still left with one dot. But every subsequent dot, or every subsequent level after that, you have to eat all the dots, including the last one. Go figure. And of course, just like in Pac-Man, we do have the things that we can eat for bonus points at the bottom of the screen. We had the, what looks like an apple at first. Woo! But we'll get things like keys along the way, too. And that's what happens when you die. You just get that. And if you are close enough, the Googies will find a way to get to you. They seem to just take the shortest route to you. They don't just go in one direction like the ghosts in Pac-Man do. Also, you were probably wondering why I told you, hey, turn caps lock off. That's because if you don't, you can't move up and down. You can move left and right, but you can't move up and down. Oh dear. Also, and this should definitely be mentioned, you want to be careful if you eat the nibbles/power pills. Because that can happen. They were clearly white, but I hit them on the exact frame where they turned back to their normal colors. You get no warning whatsoever that they're going to change back. So you've got the usual movement problem that was prevalent in, oh boy, in Snail Trail. But you also have the Googies changing back to normal with no warning whatsoever. And they did it a lot faster in this third level than they did in the first or second. So you really have to be careful. And you may have to do some, I guess you could say, AI manipulation. And why did I do that? I accidentally pressed Z when I meant to press A or something. And once you get a game over from losing all your lives, the game starts back over again. Let's see if we can do better. Let's see if I can get to level 4 or something. I may not. The controls feel kind of construction craney. Get out of there. And it took me a little while to get used to them. Maybe it's because I haven't played an arcade-style BBC micro game in a while. That's probably gonna do it. And stuff like that, yeah, that's gonna happen, and that can be particularly frustrating. I don't know if you can get bonus lives. I really don't know if you can get bonus lives. I'm under the impression that you can't. And, once again, the way that you move in this game is a right pain. And right there, right when the apple popped back up. Fine. And there's always a little bit of loading between levels. The level definitely takes a little bit of time to reinitialize. Thankfully, it's never really that long. So at least there's that going for us, which is nice. But for something that's supposed to be a Pac-Man clone, doesn't really do it all that well. Like, it could have been done better. It really could have been done better. Just because of all the problems I'm having. And it really does come down to the two major flaws that I mentioned. the way you move around is really finicky, kind of like in Snail Trail, to once again mention that past BBC Micro Let's Play. You're just going back and forth just to get yourself exactly where you want to be, and that can really get you in trouble. Also, the way that the ghosts work, they get really smart on you and can be downright cutthroat at times. That was nice. And when you eat the power pill slash the nibbles, they change back with no warning. Okay, they do flash, I guess. Forget my aside comment from when I was reading the instructions. They do flash, they do turn white, but you don't get even like a sound warning telling you, hey, they're gonna turn back. You don't get that, apparently. And that's kind of concerning. And of course, there's also the ability to accidentally hit the caps lock key, especially if you're playing this on an emulator with a modern keyboard, and thinking you triggered a glitch when accidentally you hit the caps lock. Also, the high score does not refresh until you lose your last life. I don't think you can even get an extra life in this game. I'm under the impression that you can't. And something tells me, yeah, these guys are definitely losing their vulnerable state a lot faster. And, well, at least I managed to make it to the cherry level. And whenever you game over, you just go back to level 1. You don't have a menu. This keeps going over and over. Pressing the pause button, pressing the break button on the modern keyboard, which of course is the break button on the Beeb itself, to end this game and get us back to the prompt. So that was Mazemunch for the BBC Micro by Simon Phipps off the Micro User. How is this game stack up? It's not a bad game now that I've actually taken some time away from it. I'm doing this like a day after I did the Try It Out Tuesday for this game, and I was kind of frustrated with it the other day. Now, not so much, especially since I'm now used to the construction crane-like controls. But it could have been better. It's alright, but it could have been better. It's a little bizarre in some of the things that it does, most notably the two major flaws that I mentioned. The finicky movement from having to hold down a direction to keep going in there, and just kind of in the fine-tune yourself constantly to get where you want to go and line yourself up with the corridor you want to go. And of course, there's the things with the ghosts. I mean, they flash white, but you don't even get a sound warning that they're going to turn back. You really don't get a lot of sound. Like, what's there is arcadey and very BBC Micro-y, but I really wish there was more. Maybe not so much in, like, a sound every time you eat a dot, because it'd be like over again, and I can kind of find that being annoying. But that woo sound when the ghosts are weakened from you eating a nibble slash power pill, that's absent. I wish it wasn't. But I think if those things were corrected, this would have been a really solid BBC Micro port. As it is, it's okay. I mean, it's a fine effort at trying to self-program for the BBC Micro, making your own game, that sort of thing. But I think that if the two major flaws that I mentioned were fixed, it'd be solid. I'd be telling everybody to get this game. find this game, what have you. This was a type-in game from the micro user in 1984, after all. So now it's time for the mini review. Graphics are very basic and very serviceable, but they definitely get the job done. Sound, again, I wish there was more of it as arcadey for 1984 as it was. Specifically, audio warnings for when the ghosts are going to go back to being red and green again. I definitely believe that if the game had that, it'd be so much better. Play control and gameplay. Having to fine-tune yourself to get to the corridor you want to travel down can be a pain, because you're just tapping it and you're going like 2 spaces instead of 1. Kind of like Snail Trail for the BBC Micro. I'm mentioning this again. I've been sounding like a broken record the entire Let's Play, but again, this has to be mentioned. And again, if this was corrected, if it played more like the actual arcade version of Pac-Man that this was based on, and movement wasn't so finicky, this would be alright. And again, the sound warning, a sound warning for when the ghosts turn back to normal, also would have been appreciated. And you don't really have much in the way of game variations or a menu or anything. Once you go to the instructions, you just get the game. I mean, it was a very simple type-in game, and it was very... It was definitely a thought-out effort, but there's not much to this other than go through the same maze, avoid the ghosts, eat the fruit if you can, eat all the dots, survive. Which is pretty much what Pac-Man is. I can't really complain about that. That's pretty much how it is. But some game modes, some game variations, I think would have been cool. I mean, it would have made this a little better too. And once again, being that this is an arcade-style BBC Micro game, you're going to be playing this for probably a few minutes at most, and then you're probably going to switch to Elite or something. But it's still worth checking out for a couple minutes. So, is this worth it? It's alright. I wouldn't say it's horrible. There are some flaws that definitely require fixing in a game like this. The finicky movement and the sound warning for the ghosts, most likely. And some game variations could be nice. But you can do worse, but you can do better. And this has been Let's Play Mazemunch by Simon Phipps for the BBC Micro. Hopefully you enjoyed this game as much as I did. You probably did enjoy this more than I did. More than likely. And hopefully I will be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad. Maybe it'll be somewhere in between. Who knows? Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later. Special thanks to High Retro Game Lord 89 for making this Let's Play and all other BBC Micro Let's Plays possible.